All right. Happy Monday. If you're watching on replay, let me know in the comments, hashtag replay. Let's see. Get myself up and going here. Make sure my sound's okay. I've been playing around with sound quality on Facebook the last couple weeks. And so I just want to make sure things sound okay, trying to reduce some of the background noise and stuff. So hopefully things sound okay, look okay, everything else. So um we'll give everybody a couple minutes to pop on. And let's see. As you're coming on, tell me hi, tell me what you're working on. I have piles of stuff all around me, as usual. I don't have any straight knitting, but at least I have ribbing. Uh, let's see. I hope everybody had a good weekend, and hi, Noelle. I am loving this weather. I don't know what is it like down by you guys? I'm sure it's hotter than I'll get out, but I love it here. I love it when it's nice and warm. Spent some time in the pool today, not mine, but somebody else's. I'm lucky enough to have friends that have pools. Nicole, almost to the sleeve divide of the Astropop. Awesome. Joyce, hello. Can you guys like, does the sound okay? I've been messing around with the Facebook settings, and it has things to kind of take down the background noise and make my voice a little clearer. So I'm hoping that everything sounds okay. Rain and more rain. We keep getting the threat of rain, and in Saginaw, it's like everything splits around us. Like I used to say it was Dow, like anything that came close to Midland would split around Dow, but I feel like even they're getting rain and we're not. So I don't know. Or we get little sprinkles and that's about it. Sounds good on YouTube. All right. Well, that's good. Astro Pop about 6 inches done past the sleeve divide. Awesome. Hi, Mama. So YouTube and Facebook are two different. I distribute them two different ways. So I'm not sure, like YouTube goes through my computer, Facebook goes through my phone. So I'm not sure how things sound, if you guys can hear me okay and all that jazz. I'm looking at Melissa, but she just looks confused and frustrated. So hopefully things are okay. Hi, Holly. We've got quite a good group working on their Astropop this year between Karen and Joyce and Holly and Nicole and Melissa and Sue. I'm trying to think of who else has been posting about working on theirs, and I can't think. Hi, Oriana. You guys, if you haven't looked back at Friday's, was it Friday's Show Off Your Faux Friday, or was it Wednesday, Oriana, that you posted about finishing your socks? And she wasn't just knitting plain socks. She was knitting like fancy socks while riding a horse after even losing one in the lake the week before. Shar, really hot in the north. Yeah. I mean, It's toasty, but I love it. I think on my way here, the thermostat in my car said, oh, hang on a second, you guys, I gotta bring Melissa back in. So things might shift just a minute on on the YouTube side of things. Let's see. And me. Okay, I think Melissa was having technical issues, so we'll see if this solves solves the problems. But yeah, it was like 86 or 87 on my car. What do you call that thing? It's not a thermostat. Temperature gauge. And I love it. I was driving with the windows down, which is why my hair looks the way it does. So present gonna knit a square tonight while you're on. Awesome. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Linda. Well, we might be having some technical difficulties, but I think you all can hear me okay. So I'm just gonna carry on. And if I need to pop in or out, or Melissa needs to pop in or out, we will adjust accordingly. As a reminder, if you come late or you have to leave early from this live, they do stay. Yeah, Mom, you need to get that taken care of. I don't know that I want to be that toasty. You did close the vents though, right? I guess I did not ask you that question. Because that's about the only thing you can do. Jody and Brenna and I just had this conversation on Friday about how I'm so ADD, I don't finish any conversations or thoughts or sentences, really. But I'm trying my hardest. I really am. So let's go ahead and get started. Maybe things are okay now. I don't know what's happening, but we'll just, and I'm like, well, fairly newly medicated for ADD. I don't think it's helping yet, but maybe it'll kick in at some point. Okay, so I'm going to set my knitting down so I can focus on talking with you all and getting to the good stuff. So welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is July 14th, 2025. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the little yarn shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours for the whole market are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our shop has extended hours. We are open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The yarn crawl is coming up, the Heartland Yarn Adventure. If you've not gotten your passport yet, we are all out of the pins, but I think I've got 5 or 6 passports left. They're $5. It's a great reference, even if you're not going to do the yarn crawl, for yarn stores in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. There are 100, no, I think there are 80 some shops participating. I never think to check that number before we get started on this, but that's okay. But it starts July 25th, which is a week from, I'm on, but can't be on the Zoom at the same time. Weird. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. So I guess Melissa just text me if there's anything I need to be like super aware of, but at least if you're on there, you can still post links to stuff while I'm chatting. So Heartland Yarn Adventure, July 25th through August 3rd. So it starts a week from this Thursday and goes for 10 days. We are open every day during that yarn crawl. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday hours are 11 to 3. And we will be here. Even if you only plan on visiting 1 or 2 shops, it's totally worth it. Karen, I didn't realize, or maybe I just forgot, Karen won a prize last year. And she didn't go anywhere but here, but we entered her into the prize drawings through the main Heartland Yarn Adventure, and she won something. So you don't have to go far and you get entries. You just get an additional entry for every shop you go to. So if you go to 1 shop, you get 1 entry, plus you get to enter for our prizes, which is awesome too. So let's talk about stuff. Let's talk about knitting and stuff. Where do I want to start? I'm wearing the ranunculus. I have not worn this one in a while, and I have not blocked it in a while. So the original ranunculus pattern, it was written just one size, and it's kind of fun because it's designed for either like a mohair or a fingering weight yarn on, on big needles, like size 9 needles, I think. It starts with, a fun cast on, a tubular cast on, from what I recall. I did this one a few years ago, so I don't have, but I've made 3 of them. And you all know me, I don't make more than one of anything very often. So I've made 3 of these and have 2 of them here at the shop. One was a gift. But it's got some really fun lace up at the top. You can do the sleeves as long as you want. This was a self-stripping yarn. You can see that more on the sleeves than on the body, but lace at the top. It is designed to be fairly cropped, and no, it doesn't match anything I'm wearing, but that's okay. So it hits just like at my waistline. These are high-waisted pants, but it's top down and it's kind of a boxy top, and there's no shaping in it. So you could just keep going if you wanted it longer. I have done it in worsted weight. It took 5 skeins of a worsted weight yarn to do a size, I want to say it was a 46 or 48-inch bust. I wanted to see what I could get out of 5 skeins of worsted weight yarn. So that's 1,000 yards basically of worsted weight yarn to do like a 3/4 sleeve, long, like full length ranunculus. Same needle size. You just get a completely different look. Obviously, little yarn and big needles gives you a lacier, airier look. A heavier yarn is going to be more solid, more dense, but it's one of the most popular patterns on Ravelry. It's an inexpensive pattern. It does have modifications. There's a separate PDF for modifications for larger sizes, for doing shaping if you want it, I believe. It's been so long since I've looked at the pattern. I just got here and looked around and tried to figure out what I could wear that I haven't worn in a while, and this is what I came up with. So it's a fun one. It's great if you only have 1 or 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, but you wanted to do a summer top. Because the needles are so big, it goes a long ways. Like most sizes can get a pretty fairly decent sized summer top out of 2 skeins. So this is the ranunculus. I finished something, and it's something that I finished this week. I finished my safety, SAFDIE is how it's spelled, which is kind of, it sounds like safe, like safety. And my printer apparently died or is dying, so the photo is not the greatest. And I didn't bring over the really pretty photo from the book, but it's a cowl and it's done as mitered squares. So they give you the little graphic on how they're laid out. But essentially, once you get the technique down, it's a really fun design. So here it is all done. So you can see it's a little bit narrower at the top, wider at the bottom. I have not blocked this yet. I had it here, I took it home, and then I decided I would rather just have it here to show off. So I should have blocked it over the weekend, but I didn't. So this is the softie. So it repeats the same design, but you can't tell because no matter how you turn it, you're only going to see 3 panels at a time. So I have, because this is done in strips, so you start with a larger square and you want columns, I guess. The medium square, the small square, and then you go to, why does it look like it's, no, that's right. Then you go to the next one, you cast on, pick up, and you do the same thing, knit the small, the large, medium, small ones. If you wanted more of a cape and less of a cowl, you just keep doing more columns. So this calls for 1 skein each of 3 colors. And I just love, it just looks so, so classy. Yes, it seems kind of odd right now because it is July and it's, 84 degrees outside, but it's just a really, I think it's just a really classy look with the black and gray colors. So it takes 1 skein each of 3 colors of Barocco, Ultra, Alpaca, Chunky Naturals. These are the 3 we have. I have enough for 3 kits to do it the size the pattern calls for. So again, it takes 1 skein each of the 3. to get a cowl this size. If you wanted to do something that was larger, and I have pretty narrow shoulders, so I could kind of demonstrate. Like if you put a couple more columns in it, you could make it this really cool shrug. Like that'd be pretty snug on me, but imagine it being a little bit wider. Like look at how cool that is. So 2 skeins each would get you something that would be more of a substantial shrug versus just a really neat cowl. That is the Softy cowl. We got the kits for that. The pattern for this just came out last week. So last week I talked about it. The pattern hadn't even been released yet. It was released, I think, on Tuesday. So hi, Teresa. So we've got a few skeins left of that. I probably will order more yarn for this in this color, maybe others, but I really just love it in the black and gray. I think it looks so sharp. It would be, it's kind of like almost Christmas in July, so it's not a bad time to start thinking about Christmas gifts for people. Daughters-in-law, daughters, nieces, things like that. I think this is kind of it's a good cross-generational, and it's a pretty simple, it's all garter. There are a lot of ends to weave in, but I did really well. I wove them all in. You guys will be proud. There's not a single end dangling anywhere. You will see them sticking out. I leave them a little bit long just until I block it. And then I will go back and kind of pull on them and have them buried a little bit, but every single end is woven in. I'm pretty proud of myself on that one. So that's what I finished. What am I working on? I'm working on my winter Albina sweater. Jody's still giving me a hard time about it, but I'm getting there. So there's my winter Albina. I wish they had a bigger picture in this on the pattern, but they don't. It is a top down. What's the word I want? Turtleneck style. I'm trying to find the front and the back. There we go. I've not woven all the ends in on this, clearly. But I got the turtleneck done, sewn bind off on everything, which I love because it gives this really cool rounded edge. I've got a sleeve, one sleeve. I just started the ribbing on the first cuff, but it's a lot of ribbing. Like the bottom, I got fuzzies in my face now. The bottom has 6 inches of ribbing. The cuff has 4. So I got a little ways to go still on that, but this is the perfect use for my little set of, do I have them in here? Might have left them sitting on my table at home. Oh no, there they are. My twist shorties. So the Chigu twist shorties, I say it constantly. This little blue set I use more than any other set of needles I have. Every sweater has sleeves. Almost all my sweaters fall into that size 4 to 8 needle range, which is what this kit is. You get this little pouch that has 3-inch tips and 2-inch tips in each sizes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You get little cords in 3 different lengths. So you can do anywhere from a 9-inch up to, so you get 9-inch, 12-inch, and 14-inch length between the length of the tip and the length of the cord to be able to do sleeves. It's my favorite way to do sleeves. I can do magic loop, I can do double points, but some of those get a little bit fussy, and this you just keep going around and around. It does take some getting used to. I generally like the long 5-inch tips where I have more to hang on to. This is not so much that way. So it takes a little getting used to. Sometimes I have to give my hands a break, but that just means I have to work on another project. But that's one of the reasons that my sleeves go so quickly is because I've got these little circulars and I can just go around and around. And I really could, if I wanted to, I could have knit them tandem. So like, if you've been in the shop and you've seen Karen knit sweaters or Joyce, the 2 of them for the most part are the ones that will do 2 sleeves at the same time, magic loop style. So they'll have kind of a ball of yarn tucked in each sleeve, and then knitting the 2 sleeves. You couldn't do that with these little shorties, but I could knit them tandem. So knit a stripe on one sleeve, knit a stripe on the other sleeve, and kind of go back and forth. I felt like that slows me down. Plus, I felt like it was like too much going on with the stripes and everything else. And I'm not too concerned about making sure that they're the same length because I can count my stripes. As long as my stripes are the right number, which they are on here. So my dark stripes are 6 rows, my light stripes are 4. All I have to do is count my stripes to know that my sleeves are going to be the same length. But I'm getting there and I'm pretty proud of myself that I'm still working on this and I haven't just put it aside and said it's going to be a vest until the fall. So that is what I'm working on. I have one other project, but I'm not going to show it off because I have not gotten the yarn in for it yet. So I'll talk about it once the yarn comes in. Just got a little sample skein, so I've been just kind of working on that on the side. But the blue sets of needles, the Chigu blue set, we should have 1 or 2 kits here. I need to check on that. I try and keep them on hand all the time, but they have 3 different sizes. So their red set goes size US 0 to 3. The blue set is sizes 4 to 8, and the yellow set is sizes 9 to 11, 9, 10, 10 and a half, and 11. Our favorites. We love them. So that's what I am working on. Things coming up. I posted the other day about Casapinka doing another mystery knit along. So this one, in reading her description, it looks like it's going to be a pretty low key knit. I have sort of a love, non-love. I'm not going to say a love hate, but a love, non-love relationship with the Casapinka patterns. I really love her designs. I think they're approachable. I love the fact that a lot of her designs are sort of a sampler where you get little, you change it up every so often. I could go without a lot of the commentary and the storyline that is in her patterns. So she loves her cats, and her cats go on lots of fictional adventures, and the language gets a little snarky sometimes, but if you can overlook that, the patterns themselves, I really like them. So the one that she's got coming out, that, let's see. Ooh, that's a good question Melissa put out there to everybody too. So I'll ask that in a question in a minute, as soon as I'm done with my thought, because I'll try and stay on track here. So July 18th is when this mystery knit along starts. So it is a mystery knit along, which means we don't know what it's going to look like when it's done, but she has kind of given some clues. It's a shawl, it's 3 colors. The color combinations that she has suggested tend to go more tonal or semi-solids. But she gives some pretty good guidance in there about that. It's called Hiss and Vinegar. It is not right now set up for us to sell through the shop, so you would have to get it on your own through Ravelry. But of course, we can help you pick out yarn. So it takes 3 skeins. If you have 1 or 2 skeins at home and you need something to coordinate, we have this massive wall of fingering weight yarn to help coordinate with whatever you have, or come in and pick out 3 new skeins. We're happy to help you with that too. We love that part of things. So the mystery knit along is a shawl. It's 3 skeins. My guess is it's going to be sort of the long look like she's done in the past, more of a rectangle, but I have no idea. And I haven't seen a whole lot of input one way or the other from anybody about, or like a hint about what it might look like. She just said it's kind of low key this year. So Melissa asked, and I'll put it out there in case you're busy knitting and just listening and not reading the comments, but she's heading on a trip for like an extended weekend. So her question is, do you take a current project or do you start a new one if you're going on a trip? So put in the comments one way or the other. What do you do? Do you plan a whole new project that's just like, this is going to be my travel project, or do you take something you're already working on and try and get some dedicated time to knit on it? It's especially helpful if you have airport time, because then you really do get some dedicated knitting time, or I guess long car rides. But I'm one of those people where I will do both. because you can't just travel with one project. Um, I do have a couple of travel projects that are pretty much exclusively for when I'm traveling. Some of that is because the yarn is not from the shop. It's something I got as a souvenir somewhere, or it's just something that requires a little bit more attention. But I'm also one of those people that needs to be really early to the airport. For my anxiety's sake, I need to be through security with at least 2 hours before we board. So that means I usually have some pretty decent time to sit and knit in the airport at the terminal. So I have to have multiple projects because I never know what I'm going to be in the mood for. So tell me, I want to know what you all do. Yeah, that's a good question. Julie says you wish to commemorate the trip, then something new. Yes, where you can say this, I knit this when I was on my trip to New Zealand or, whatever it might be. Think less about something new. Sarah says current project tend to be so busy on trips with new info that I need to think less about something new. Yeah, that makes sense too. If you're going somewhere new, both, yes. Noel says both. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. My mom is the same way. But I have done that too, where I've worked on a project when I've gone to Florida for spring break and had it be my spring break project. Or I'm pretty sure when I went to France, I had a project that was dedicated to starting it when we got to the airport and then trying to get it done before I got home. Ireland, I don't remember. I should. I know I had some knitting time, but I don't even remember what I was working on. So yeah, give us your feedback and I'm curious to see. Okay. So the other knit along that's coming up is in September, and that is with Malabrigo. It's not a mystery knit along. It is just a knit along for the barn stable. I'm saying barnstable, like constable, but it's with a barn. It's a shawl. It's a mosaic shawl that calls for a DK weight yarn, DK or worsted weight yarn. Let's see. Teresa says, take something that's not too complicated. Oriana said, new project, then pick up another new project when I get where I'm going. Yes. That is definitely something that I'm a big proponent of. Yes, obviously, we love it when you support us, but also I do it and I expect that other people do it as well. As when you go on trips, you're going to a new place. It's fun to get something from a different shop. I especially like to look for something that's local to them or either from a local mill or locally dyed or something that's exclusive to their shop. So, yeah, Oriana, that's a very good point. Okay, back to the Barnstable. It is a 3-skein DK / light worsted weight shawl. You can see it on Ravelry. If you sign up through the Malabrigo blog, they will send you a PDF of the pattern for free as we get closer to when the knit along starts. So Malabrigo does their knit alongs where they take the month, they kind of break it down and give a time frame for how far they think you should be on the project if you're going to do it within the month of September. They do drawings on social media if you tag them in things and use the qualifications are that you're knitting that project and that you're using the yarn that they're promoting. So in this case, it's Seis Cabos, which is one of their new yarns from last year. They released this in Chicago when Deb and Ashley went. They brought some back for me too, but it is a worsted weight, non-superwash, light worsted. So it's like a heavy DK, light worsted, non-superwash merino wool. 220 yards in 100 grams. And it's a 6-ply, hence the Seis Cabos. But it's a 6-ply, so it's a super plush. This would be really great for color work, I think. Or for anything with a heavy pattern or cable. I think the roundness of the yarn would do really well. But that's not what the knit along is. The knit along is a shawl that is mostly, it's a asymmetrical shawl that is mostly one color until you get to the bottom third, and then it's mosaic. So you're only working with one color at a time. It's slip stitches. I did not look closely at this pattern to see if it's written and charted. but we're here to help you on that. So we did bring some colors in. The two colors that they are promoting are the two that they released for their anniversary, which is Vicennial and Viente. So that's these two colors. That's what they're promoting. The original photo looks more like, is it an off-white? I think it's more something like this. So the variegated as the main color and the natural as a accent or the contrast color. You need two skeins of whatever your main body color is going to be. So with this, you could do it either way. With any of these, you could do it either way, but there's just one big solid chunk and then the color work down at the bottom. According to Ravelry, it appears to be both charted and written. Perfect. So you could do it either way. I really like those when they're written and charted because then you can kind of go back and forth too. And if you're comfortable with one way versus the other, referencing it to see how they correlate is helpful when they're both written and charted. So we did bring a few colors. This is not a base that we normally carry, the Seis Cabos, but I do have a few colors in stock. I love this. I love this camel color, caramel. It's beautiful. So I've got those like, oh, look at, I need more hands, but I think these two would be beautiful together. So we've got those here. If you're local, you can come in, play with colors and pick yours out. If you are not local, you can call or text us and we're happy to text pictures back and forth. And they are not on our website because I don't have my act together enough to get them on the website. That's just what it is. The navy and teal, those two, that would be beautiful too. Yes, it would. This, of course, I had to get Wales Road. I can't get a yarn from them and not get Wales Road. That's just, so it's like purple and navy. One of their most popular colors, at least for us, it's one of our best sellers. So that's in September. I already talked about the Heartland Yarn Adventure. Some of you may have heard the news already, but Knitted Wit has announced that they are going out of business and that they are going to be done with any clubs or any dyeing the end. Oh, sorry, Linda, they are $18.50 per skein. They are no longer dyeing yarn after the end of August. So what that means for us is that all the Knitted Wit we have is all we're ever going to get. We can't get any more. Thankfully, we did just get a shipment of, you've seen it over the last couple of weeks, their sport weight tonals, which we absolutely love. It's such great yarn. Just kind of a bummer. So if there are colors you see, I know you hear this from us all the time, but it really is true. If you see something you love, get it because we won't be able to get it again. We don't know how long we're going to have it, especially with people knowing that Knitted Wit is going away. It's kind of a bummer. We also have that big basket of DK minis that I think would be really good for any of the doodle projects. I got a whole bunch of tonal colors in that, and that might be, when I'm done with my one little accessory I'm working on, a doodle pattern might be my next one. We'll see. It is on my to-do list. So it's kind of a bummer, but we understand stuff happens and some of these companies, I'm sure, maybe tariffs played a part in this because even if they dye the yarn here in the States, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's produced here in the States or spun here in the States or anything like that. So, life changes for people. So we wish them well, but we know what we have is what we have. We do have some variegated skeins scattered around based on what weight they are. So it's a bummer, but we wish them the best. What else? Oh, DelaQ bags. So we got a shipment of DelaQ bags in last week and they are almost gone. I've got just a couple left. You need to think highly about another Hazelwood. Yes, I know. I want another Hazelwood too. The Hazelwood I inherited from Jean was done out of the Heritage 6, but I really want one out of the Knitted Wit because it's so So beautiful. The Hazelwood is a cardigan with 3 colors, but you don't have to do it in 3 colors. But y'all know me, I love stripes. So we have a fair amount of it here in the shop. Um, and the beauty of something like the Hazelwood, doing it in the 3 colors is that gives you a little bit more, what's the word I want? You have a little bit more leeway in the variety of colors where you won't need so many skeins of just one color. I think my brain stopped working. Deli-Q bags. So we posted last week that we got some Deli-Q bags in. The Love Your LYS bags, the bug with the full yarn, the handle, these are the bigger ones. You can see it's bigger than my head. These are the bags and the color that we got for Local Yarn Store Day. They did reproduce some of them. I ordered them in Chicago in May, the beginning of May, and they finally came in. So I think we've got 5 left. They snap at the top and they have these 2 handles that make it really easy to pull the snaps apart. They have inside side pockets, a front pocket, a back pocket, a zippered pocket, and it's all mesh and sort of see-through so you can see what project is in there. Jean, okay, we'll set one aside. So now we have 4 left, I think. They are $36.50 or $39.50. I think they're $36.50 each. And we've got a handful of those. We got, I thought I'd put these within reach, but I have to get up and reach. Of all the Maker's totes that we got last week, I have 2 left. I have 1 pink one and 1 black one left. They are slightly different than the Maker's totes that we have had in the past. They're the same mesh. Pink one's a little bit easier to show what's inside. The same mesh body with the canvas sides and top and handles. They snap closed. They have a zipper front compartment for your patterns or whatever. These ones are fun because they all have the rainbow, and then the meshy background color coordinates with the bags. So the pink one and the black one. I love how bright that rainbow is. So what they've changed and what's different. I like how the snaps have a Q on them. I know it is just a cute little, so this is what she's talking about, like each little snap says Q. Well, in this bag, I don't know, can you see how it says across here? It's probably backwards on Facebook, but it says Love Your LYS on this little ribbon across here and on the handle. Love Your LYS. I think it's so cute. So in the past, these bags would come with the carry strap. So you could have the short handles or the long carry strap. All the Deli-Q things come with a tapestry needle. Some of their larger ones come with little notebooks. And they've always come with coordinating scissors. So this little pouch clips right on the inside. And so you have scissors in a little coordinating pouch that goes with it. What they have changed is now inside, they have 2 of these collapsible bins, just like the fabric bins you would have for like your shelves at home, but look, it says Deli-Q on them. So they collapse down, but then they sit upright and they fit 2 with a little space right in the bottom of the bag. So it keeps things organized versus just having one big bag for everything to get lost in. If you're doing a project with multiple colors, this would be great because you can put different skeins of yarn in the bins. Or if you were working on little projects, you could have little projects in there and have one bag to carry. So these, I've got 1 pink and 1 black left. They are $139. So there's the black. And they were thinking about things in terms of not being dark for everything inside. So the black bag has black bins, but the inside is light with their little Deli-Q fabric. So you're not digging in a black bin in a black bag, trying to find something and not being able to see things. So we've got those. And then I have 2 left of a bag that shops could only get if they ordered a certain amount at the trade show in Chicago. Using the cube bag to hold my Astropop. I was surprised it fits. Yes, yeah, these bags hold quite a bit, 6/8 skeins of yarn. So it's a good sweater bag project. Sweater project bag. So in Chicago, when I was placing an order for what I finally got, I took advantage of their offer. And if you placed an order for a certain amount, your shop was able to get 10 of these. And they are bright green and they say bag of UFOs. If you don't know what UFOs are, it's unfinished objects. I have had people joke that they need more than one bag, and I'm like, well, one project in each bag. So yeah, you need a bunch of them. I have 2 of these left. They're $20 a piece. They snap on top. They don't have a handle or a strap, but they're big. They have little box bottom on them and they're mesh, so you can still see what your project is inside. They have the zipper front pocket. So these are 20. I've got 2 left. They're so stinking cute. So yeah, a giant box I got last week. There's not a whole lot left from that. As you have seen with other people, if there's something that you see that you're interested in, put it in the comments, let us know. Tell us if it's something that you want to pick up here in the shop or if you want us to send it out to you, and we will be happy to do so. So that's what's new in the shop. Next week, I'm hoping to have a lot more new things to tell you about. I spent a little bit of time this afternoon emailing and messaging people about what I want, what I'm hoping should be coming in time for the yarn crawl next week. So we'll do a little bit of a preview if those things get to me, which I really hope they do. Okay, that is all I have for you all tonight. I will be back next Monday right here. Hopefully Melissa has fewer technical difficulties, and hopefully I don't have technical difficulties. Between the two of us, you know, we'll get them right. Holly will take them. Jackie, one please, what, of the UFOs? Just let us know. Pretty sure Holly's already gotten hers, Jody. You know, that's the benefit of getting to come in here on a regular basis, is you get to see these things before I talk about them on Mondays. So I hope everybody has a great night, and we will be back here next Monday. Shop hours, business as usual this week. Reminder, if you signed up for the Continental Knitting class, that starts tomorrow. I will not be here. Karen will be here to let everybody in, but Joyce will be here also to teach the class here in the shop. That one's full. If that's something that you were interested in, but you weren't able to get in on it, let us know. And if we've got enough interest, we will see what we can do to keep Joyce busy and teach more classes. So have a good night. If we don't see you sometime this week in the shop, then I will see you back here at 7 o'clock next Monday. So stay creative.